So I am about to do the unthinkable, at least for me. I am skipping a major Nintendo release. And the one that I'm skipping is the upcoming Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. And I'll go into the reasons as to why I'm not going to play it, but the short answer is that I'm just not excited about it. And I am certainly not excited enough to spend $70 on it. The game doesn't look bad, but there's just nothing really pulling me in. It feels like there is an increasingly narrow space for games that are just okay. $70 is just too much for something I don't think I'm going to love. If this game was priced at $30 or $40, like it could have been maybe 10 or 15 years ago, I might have taken a gamble on it, but I'm not taking that gamble for $70. $70 in this economy? Maybe if I was a big Dynasty Warriors game style fan, I would be more into it, but it's just not that exciting. Because the big, large-scale battles never really thrilled me in Age of Calamity. It just always felt like big waves of really super easy enemies that you just swipe through without too much trouble. And now I know I could have been just playing on the harder difficulty and had all sorts of strategies that I needed to form, but I'm just not interested in doing that with any game that's in the Legend of Zelda series. That's not what I look to the Zelda series for. I look to the Zelda series to give me new, exciting, and unique methods of gameplay, not twists on what we've already had many times. Whenever there's an actual real new Zelda game out, you can expect the gameplay to do something that you've never seen before. But that's not the case here, because look at Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and Echoes of Wisdom. All three of those games absolutely lit the world on fire by feeling new and completely different from anything else before. Whereas Age of Imprisonment just looks like a repeat of Age of Calamity. I know it's got new characters you play as, it has all new moves. Come on, at the end of the day, it's pretty much the same game. I did play Age of Calamity. I bought it years after it came out at a discount. One of Nintendo's signature big 20% discounts. Whew, what am I gonna do with that $3 I saved? And I played through it, and I thought it was fine, but nothing really grabbed me. The gameplay loop was pretty repetitive, so if you like what the gameplay is, good for you. But if it doesn't really appeal to me that much, I don't have interest in playing it all again. Some of the characters are cool to play as, like the different champions and young Impa, but it just wasn't enough. There was also a big problem with the alternate universe story situation, and that's probably my biggest issue with Age of Calamity. It felt like a bait and switch, because, as you probably are aware, Age of Calamity is a prequel to Breath of the Wild, taking place in the time 100 years before the game. And when that was first announced, I thought, oh, that's really cool. I would like to see the actual War of Calamity happening and be able to play through it. But then it turns out to be some sort of alternate universe thing where in the end they actually win. Because I was excited to see the characters you play as lose and then that lead into Breath of the Wild. But it doesn't. It just takes place in some weird alternate reality that doesn't actually exist in the timeline of Breath of the Wild. And it really makes the entire premise feel pointless. It draws you in by claiming to be a prequel, but then it turns out to not actually have any connection. And because of that rug pull, I'm wary of this new game's story, and I don't really feel like being fooled again. And so Age of Imprisonment is another prequel taking place in the time period that Zelda got transported back to at the beginning of Hyrule in Tears of the Kingdom. And I gotta tell you, this isn't a time period I really care that much about. Tears of the Kingdom showed me everything that I cared to see about through the flashbacks that you unlock throughout the course of that game. It was fun going piece by piece and seeing the mystery of what happened to Zelda be slowly revealed. But a mystery can only be revealed once. I don't really expect any meaningful twists in Age of Imprisonment. If there was anything actually interesting that would impact the world going forward, it probably would have been shown in Tears of the Kingdom, like the story elements that mattered were. I don't really care about getting to know the old champions, the first king of Hyrule, because I know that the next Zelda game is going to have nothing to do with any of that. I know a lot of people like story in Zelda games and they want more story out of them, but that's not really what I go to a Zelda game for again. If there's going to be more story in a mainline Zelda game, that's great, I'll take it, but I'm not going to go to spin-offs looking for story that I know the developers of Zelda do not care about. And I want to be clear that I'm not skipping Age of Imprisonment because I think it looks bad. I think it just looks okay. And okay is not going to get me to spend $70. Because I am very open to weird Nintendo stuff. I don't necessarily need a game to look good in order to be excited and want to play it. What I want is something unique. Because I bought and played through both Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour and Dragon Drive. Did I think that either of those games, if you can even call it a game in the case of Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, did I think that they would be good and fun? Not really, but they were interesting and unique, and I wanted to see what they were about. And they were also pretty cheaply priced, which is not the case for this game here. Because again, I'm willing to take a gamble on a game that especially is just $10 or $20, not $70. But I guess the standard pricing now is $80, so really we're getting it at a discount. Oh, actually, no problem. So Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment really just checks none of my boxes. It's not unique. It's not surprising. It's not emotionally compelling to me. Maybe it'll be to some people. And it is not priced in a way that invites risk. It does feel like pricing is something that really dominates discussion of games, whether it's this, whether it's Mario Kart World, or even a game like GTA 6. And I try to tune all that out because really I'm just trying to look at a game on the merits of the game and I'll decide if the price is worth it to me. And this is the case where no, it is just not worth $70 to me. Because with this new higher premium pricing that pretty much every video game company is doing now, you can't pull that off for every game. Even if Grand Theft Auto ends up being $100, not every other game is going to be able to charge $100 because there's only one Grand Theft Auto. Same thing with Mario Kart. Not every kart racer is going to be able to charge $80. Only Mario Kart can because it is such a premium product and high profile name. And I'd love to be in the financial position where I could just blow $70 on a game I don't think I'm going to really enjoy that much. But no, I could buy groceries for like 2 weeks. Although the time period that $70 worth of groceries can cover is ticking down a little bit every day. And it's sad because for Nintendo, it feels like the era of decently cheap games that you would just buy without, too much thought over it is kind of over. We're well past the days of standard 3DS games being priced at $40 maximum, and even Switch games being priced at $60 maximum. It's a bit of the double-edged sword of Nintendo doing well as a company, because during the Wii U days, when they were struggling, you could get games at great discounts. And while I like that Nintendo is doing well so they can put more money into good games, which they're putting out pretty frequently, they're not in the position where they need to be discounting games in order to sell them, which does hurt the consumer in the end. But it is a Zelda game. I'm sure Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment will sell well. People are looking for things to play on the Switch too. And I think the next time that I go back into the Zelda series will probably be when the next mainline game comes out. Unless they remaster Link's crossbow training. Now, that would be worth $70.